Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and thanks for taking the rendezvous with us here on Spectrum Television. Making news tonight, the International Day for Old People is commemorated every October 1, and this year's theme is centered on resilience of older persons in a changing world. Olivier Bouzike will take a look at how this day was celebrated in the political capital of Cameroon, Yaoundé, in this newscast. And we will be talking economy, where families now have to budget extra money when it comes to shopping for the house, as every commodity has experienced an increase in price and some a drop in the quantity. Katran Kone has made this observation and will be bringing us all the details in this 8 p.m. Bilingual newscast. These and many more will be yours in a bit. Thanks once more if you're just taking or joining us. It is the 8 p.m. Bilingual newscast here on Spectrum Television. We open these newscasts in the French language with you, Leila Rengalse. Good evening, Leila.
Bonsoir à vous, la donnette en dessin. Mesdames, bonsoir, monsieur, bonsoir et merci d'être avec nous. Il est 20h sur les antennes de Spectrum Télévision, c'est le journal. Le Cameroun, de concert avec la communauté internationale, célèbre ce samedi la 32e édition de la Journée internationale des personnes âgées. Sous le thème la résilience et les contributions des femmes âgées, la cérémonie relative s'est tenue à Yaoundé, la capitale politique du Cameroun, sous la présidence du ministre des Affaires sociales. Une occasion pour Pauline Irène Guéné de rappeler l'importance de la lutte contre les inégalités et les discriminations faites aux femmes âgées. Le compte-rendu d'Olivier Bouzike.
Selon le rapport du BICAB relatif au 3e recensement général de la population et de l'habitat paru en 2005, 52,4% des personnes âgées sont les femmes. Malgré leur majorité, le désavantage lié au genre rend invisible, ignorer et limiter leur contribution dans la vie sociale, à en croire les experts.
C'est pour dire que ce n'est pas parce qu'on est déjà âgé qu'on ne peut plus agir. Parce que parmi les personnes âgées, on a entendu le nombre. Il y a beaucoup de compétences, il y a beaucoup de connaissances.
Face à ce malaise, la 32e édition de la Journée internationale des personnes âgées, ici célébrée, vise globalement à sensibiliser la communauté nationale et internationale sur les facilités d'accès et d'inclusion sociale des femmes âgées dans le processus de développement durable. Au Cameroun, les actions en faveur des personnes âgées sont juridiquement encadrées par le document de politique nationale de protection et de promotion des personnes âgées, élaboré en 2012, et désormais par la Charte africaine des droits de l'homme et des peuples relatif à la protection des droits des personnes âgées, adoptée le 31 janvier 2016 à Addis Abeba et ratifiée par le Cameroun en 2021. Un arsenal juridique qui, mis en pratique, réduira sans doute les discriminations faites aux femmes âgées en particulier.
Notre message aujourd'hui, c'est qu'on puisse faire venir toutes ces personnes à travers le fichier de compétences que nous avons mis en place et que nous continuons à élaborer, identifier ces compétences pour participer pleinement à la vie de la nation, à la vie de la société.
Cette édition a été marquée par la tenue des activités sportives et ludiques, l'élection Miss et Master Papy, les débats thématiques sur le vieillissement, la remise des dons aux personnes âgées.
Et que fait l'État du Cameroun? Que font les affaires sociales pour promouvoir le bien-être des personnes âgées dans notre pays? Je vous propose cet extrait de la représentante du ministère des Affaires sociales dans la région du littoral.
Concernant les populations cibles qui sont à l'honneur aujourd'hui, les personnes âgées, ne fût-ce que sur le plan, si on s'attelle, tout l'arsenal juridique s'applique également à la personne âgée. Mais en tant qu'affaires sociales, je voudrais attirer l'attention ici pour signifier qu'à nous seuls, nous ne pouvons pas apporter une réponse complète. Je vous prends un exemple simple. Je suis une personne âgée, je suis atteinte d'une maladie, c'est un problème de santé. Qu'est-ce que moi je ferais en tant que travailleur social? Je veux sensibiliser cette personne à pouvoir aller consulter. Surtout la personne du 3e âge, des fois, a des difficultés pour pouvoir se déplacer. Ou à défaut, être carrément cette personne de relais qui la conduira à l'hôpital. Mais le soin approprié lui sera donné par un expert qui n'est pas forcément des affaires sociales. Donc, toujours venir demander aux affaires sociales, qu'est-ce que vous faites pour la personne âgée? Nous faisons beaucoup d'accompagnement psychosocial. Nous faisons beaucoup de visites à domicile pour nos personnes grabataires, justement pour identifier les poches à problèmes et voir comment nous pouvons les accompagner, aller vers les sphères sollicitées. C'est ensemble, c'est une action multisectorielle qui concourt à pouvoir œuvrer pour le bien-être des populations vulnérables.
Today is October 1, and many Cameroonians definitely have different opinions as to what went down on this fateful day back in 1961. Well, in these newscasts, we decided to talk to historians as well as political scientist Professor Willie Broad Zengwa and Professor Elvis Ngolengole to bring us more clarity in this excerpt.
But then the most important day between the two entities is the 1st of October, 1961, because that is the day the two entities officially reunified, agreed to come together based on a federal status quo. So the two entities, two peoples who spoke two different languages, two cultures, two educational systems, two legislations, two legal systems came together to become one under a federal status quo. That is the significance of that date. But historical evolution warranted that these dates should not be celebrated because they needed a middle point. That is why we got 20th of May, 1920, and 20th of May being celebrated as a fourth important day in the history of Cameroon. But unfortunately, political evolution made it to that by 1985, the name of the country was changed to the Republic of Cameroon. It got many interpretations. It simply meant that either the Republic of Cameroon that achieved independence in 1960 had seceded or has assimilated that other part of the country which achieved independence separately. And that began the struggle for recognition.
There are some voices out there which are giving a wrong reading, a wrong interpretation, either as a result of bad faith or because they are frustrated or because they're ignorant or because they just want to give trouble, giving a political significance to 1st of October, which it doesn't have. These voices, because I also read social media and others, and the audio and televised media, and sometimes electronic media, they give a false political significance to 1st of October by saying that 1st of October is the date of the independence of a part of Cameroon, the territory that they called Southern Cameroons. No. There has never been in any history an independence date for any part of Cameroon on the 1st of October. None ever. No history book records that. And besides, as a political scientist, I say this because we teach it in our classes, in the universities, and I think in secondary and high schools. No country in the world has more than one date of independence. There can only be, and there has always been only one date of independence. And in the case of Cameroon, the only independence day is 1st of January 1960. But that independence was completed with the joining of the former territory of British Southern Cameroons, which had voluntarily and in a fraternal way.
En bref, on parle de ce glissement de terrain intervenu ce samedi sur la nationale numéro 100. Selon certains témoins, les pluies interminables de ces derniers jours auraient provoqué la chute d'un arbre qui, comme vous le voyez sur les images, a complètement bloqué la voie. Conséquence, la circulation routière était impossible. Seule possibilité pour rallier Bafoussam en partant de Douala, prendre des détours comme la route de Baganté-Bafan. Nous y reviendrons certainement. Et on va à présent dans la région du sud-ouest pour parler de cette grève annoncée par les employés de la CDC. C'est avec vous, la donnée Tondessa.
And this time around, we'll take you to the southwest, as rightly mentioned by Lila Hengansu, where the Cameroon Development Corporation is one of the many institutions in the southwest region badly affected by the Anglophone crisis. Josephine Bindi, in the next report, tells us the coping mechanism this institution has been using in these trying times.
Cameroon Development Corporation workers in Moyuka. Made from cassava tubers, Esther is exploiting to fullness the preparation and sales of gari.
Use na cigarette cup. They say one. I told my weight with me and measure 120 cups for 1,000. But for now, I say for I come up from Bafoot to Southwest. I can't be able to say gari now. We use na glass for say gari. We say I can't be able to first I say 20 cups for 1,000. But now we say now 14 cups for 1,000.
Due to the socio-political crisis in the Southwest region, she thinks this is a safe route to see her children through school.
I get 5 people when I already got yes. 5, I get 5 people already.
A situation that has convinced many to adapt to the current circumstances against their wishes.
Be right, the way we have been expecting to be, then we'll be very much happy. Even though they say the socio-political crisis is still worrying, yes, it's true. But let the truth be spoken, and I'm sure everything will be okay. And when it is okay, that's when everybody will start enjoying life.
Almost 6 years down the line, few months after the tensions in the 2 English-speaking regions broke out, CDC workers became targets to separatist fighters. Some beheaded, others maimed, and a lion's share lost their jobs due to the tension. Many, like Esther, have found other areas to explore into despite the security uncertainties in the area.
We still remain in the Southwest region, where a humanitarian organization has provided public boreholes to inhabitants of Edinal. This is to curb the water crisis that has been plaguing the locals in this area. Katran Corner tells us more in this report.
In order to curb the water crisis faced by the population of Edinal, a locality in the Southwest region, a humanitarian organization has built a public borehole that will constantly supply water to the inhabitants.
Water has been a very difficult task in the municipality. Though the water scheme would have, at the moment is not able, to satisfy the entire population of Edinal. Mindful of the fact that the town has evolved, mindful of the fact that the population have increased, and mindful of the fact that we have so many things that is arising around the municipality that needs water, and water is life. We cannot do without water. So therefore, when we got the information that Caristar is going to provide us with water in order to help.
He adds that the locals have been facing several challenges to get drinking water.
Because we have recorded so many challenges with the population around the area. They take distances to get potable water. They would have to take not less than a kilometer, if I may not exaggerate, a kilometer plus before getting potable water. So when this information got to us, and the mayor particularly, about the water that is going to be constructed, the water scheme is going to be constructed, the borehole around the municipality, in fact, it was a wonderful thing for us.
It should be recalled that for some weeks now, the Southwest region, mostly Kumba, Boya, Limbe, have been experiencing water shortage.
Lutte contre le désordre urbain, plusieurs mois déjà que la mairie de la ville de Douala essaie de mettre un peu d'ordre au lieu-dit rond-point d'Eido. Le maire de la ville a récemment entrepris l'aménagement du lieu-dit ancien flot, un lieu qui devait servir de point de chargement et de déchargement pour tous les passagers évoluant au rond-point. Pourtant, jusqu'ici, très peu de conducteurs de taxis et de motos s'y rendent. Et pour cause, ils dénoncent l'insuffisance des travaux. Je vous propose ce reportage.
Lieu dit ancien en flot à Douala. C'est ici que sont censés charger et décharger les taxis et motos évoluant au rond-point d'Eido. Pourtant, sur les lieux ce matin, c'est à peine si on compte 15 taxis. Ligne Motondo-Koti, 0 moto à l'horizon. Ligne taxi Bonabéry, ni vu ni connu. Ligne moto Aquabali, vide. Ligne taxi Aquabonanjo, rien à signaler. Pour savoir où sont passés les taxis et motos, il faut juste sortir de l'espace à eux réservé pour les retrouver sur les trottoirs. Interrogés sur les raisons de cette désobéissance, les conducteurs de moto-taxi parlent d'habitude.
C'est déjà une habitude pour nous de garer ici.
Quelqu'un ne veut pas aller là-bas prendre le taxi. Le client veut prendre la moto ici ou le taxi ici. C'est pour ça.
C'est ici là qui nous paraît facile. On laisse les clients ici facilement. On part, on repart. Quand moi, par exemple, moi, je pars de côté. Je laisse celui-ci là. Celui qui descend ici là. Je cherche encore celui qui part de côté. Je pars comme ça là. Quand je vais entrer là-bas là, ça va encore me paraître difficile.
Poussant le raisonnement un peu plus loin, les conducteurs de taxi, eux, décrivent le mauvais aménagement de l'ancien enclos, cet espace attribué par le maire de la ville. Il y régnerait une grande insécurité, notamment à la tombée de la nuit.
Rien que l'eau, quand il pleut là-bas, il n'y a même pas moyen de sortir. Mais on dit seulement un matin qu'entrer là-bas dedans. Mais quand nous on comprend le budget qu'on dit qu'on a voté pour arranger ces machins-là, nous on n'arrive même pas à comprendre. Rien que le taxi de Bonabéry ne peut pas charger là-bas dedans. Si on dit que taxi de Bonamazadi, taxi de Ndokoti, taxi de Rompe, taxi d'Aqua, peut entrer dans le trou là. Mais on nous a dit le budget qu'on a voté pour arranger le trou là, nous on est dépassé. Nous-mêmes, le taxement des douanes, on est dépassé. N'importe qui se réveille un matin, il dit pour lui. N'importe qui se réveille, il dit pour lui. On dit un trou qu'on va aller arranger. Au période le taxement commence à charger là-bas. Nous, même les Nangabo, on ne nous laisse pas. Quand tu gammes le taxi pour descendre, avant tu reviens, on a déjà sorti la caisse. On va charger. Il n'y a même pas la lumière là-bas. Il n'y a rien. Vous allez charger comment?
Pour que soit enfin respectée la volonté du maire de la ville, ces derniers estiment que la sensibilisation ne devrait pas que se limiter à eux conducteurs de moto et de taxi, mais qu'elle devrait englober aussi bien les clients que les commerçants installés sur les trottoirs.
En tant que taxi, moi j'ai aussi peur. On dit que tu vas payer 50 000, tu payes 50 000 à la fourrière. Nous on a peur toujours. Ne voyez pas parce qu'on est ici, c'est parce que c'est le moto qui nous attire. Les commerçants qui sont au carrefour qui nous attirent, tout commerce c'est au carrefour.
Notons que cette décision du maire de la ville de Douala, Roger Mbassadine, rentre dans un vaste programme de lutte contre le désordre urbain.
Je vais dans les syndicats même des...
Families have to budget extra income when it comes to shopping for the house. Well, this is because all goods, almost every good in local market is currently experiencing a price hike. Katran Kone made this observation after visiting local markets here in the economic capital of Cameroon, Douala, and files in this report.
According to some buyers and vendors at the new Daido market, the prices of basic household commodities like plantains, meat, fish, groundnut oil, among others, are steadily increasing as the days go by.
My husband knows foodstuffs have become very expensive, so he has added the allowance. I also try to manage and buy what I can afford with what I get.
Au prix d'achat, ça a augmenté aussi. Les choses ont augmenté.
My buying price for my good has increased. Everything is now expensive. When my purchasing price is low, I do all I can to satisfy my customers. I can tell you I make no profit from this business.
To these traders, a carton of fish which used to cost 18,000 francs CFA is now sold at 26,000 francs CFA.
Nous ne savons pas pourquoi on a augmenté le prix du poisson et le poisson est en rupture.
We don't understand why there's an increase in the price of fish. We are facing a shortage now and we are doing our best to make sure we recover our money.
À chaque poisson auquel nous pouvons vendre.
Le poisson, tout a disparu sur le marché.
There's no fish in the market. The fish we sell now is not the best. For over 3 months, we have been experiencing shortage, and when we get them, the price is so expensive. The fish we bought for 18,000 is now sold at 26,000 francs.
Due to the hike in the prices of these food items, retailers on their part say they are counting their losses.
We sold well, but now things are difficult. In a week, we can sell 5 bags of rice, but before, we sold 10 or more bags of rice.
However, accusing fingers are pointing at the government for not fixing a unanimous price which will be respected by all and avoid the constant hike in the prices of food items.
Now we take you out of the African continent where in their most polarized elections, Brazilians are all set to go to the polls on Sunday to elect a new president, choosing between a leftist political returnee and current populist leader President Jair Bolsonaro, who already has claimed election fraud if he loses. The Voice of America tells us more.
Brazilians head to the polls Sunday to vote in a contest between current President Jair Bolsonaro, a far-right populist facing economic, political, and social upheaval, and former President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva, the leftist head of Brazil's Works Party. Polls indicate the former president, commonly known as Lula, could win the election without needing a second round.
The poorest people in Brazil, who are the people that in general don't have a very high turnout in the elections, how they will behave, if they go to the polls or not. If these people go to the polls, if the people really vote, it's very likely that Lula will win already in the first round.
Lula served as president from 2003 to 2010, and is best known for enacting massive anti-poverty programs as president. He was later jailed for corruption before his conviction was annulled last year and he was released from jail.
Eu provei da outra vez que eu fui presidente.
I proved the other time I was president that a worker without a university degree was capable of doing more for the people than the doctors who had already ruled this country.
Bolsonaro, known as anti-establishment and pro-business, has spent most of his first four-year term fighting a series of political, economic, and social crises, including a rise in political violence amid the liberalization of gun laws.
This is a country that has increasingly reduced violence by doing the opposite of what the left has always said. We are giving the right to the population to buy firearms.
At least 5 people have been killed since July in what were believed to be political assassinations. Bolsonaro also publicly campaigned against COVID-19 vaccinations, as the virus killed more than 700,000 Brazilians. Under Bolsonaro, the number of people living in extreme poverty doubled. Almost 50% of Brazilians disapprove of his government, according to the public opinion surveys. Bolsonaro has suggested he won't accept the election results if he loses, and some fear post-election violence in the highly polarized country.
And I think that's the main concern. There could be confusion, post-election instability, violence if some of Bolsonaro's supporters were to take the streets to say that actually we're here to support democracy.
The results of the elections are expected by Sunday night or early Monday. Ian Boechat, VOA News, São Paulo, Brazil.
Now that report puts an end to the APM Bilingual newscast here on Spectrum Television. To have a wonderful weekend and a wonderful October in the company of our programs. Good night to you, Leila Rentanzé.
Bon mois d'octobre, vous la donnez ton dessin. Mesdames et messieurs, merci de nous avoir suivis. Bon week-end à tous. Bonsoir.